Welcome to the Pot Stirrer, where we mix it up with bold business leaders who are disrupting, defying, and differentiating in today's fiercely competitive marketplace.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Pot Stirrer. I'm your host, Gary Magenta. My career has taken this unlikely path from restaurateur and cooking show host to change consultant, where I've spent the last 17 years working with the world's most influential companies to help them disrupt, defy, and differentiate. The simple act of cooking in a kitchen creates natural conversation. You see, here on the Pot Stirrer, it's not about business speak. We just want to get to know leaders, find out what they're doing differently so we can learn from them. You see, food's the great unifier, and you know, all the best conversations always happen in the kitchen. Today in the kitchen, we're having a conversation with a 250-year-old global real estate company. 250 years old, and they just doubled revenues in the last 5 years. How are they doing that? Well, they're making their customers' ambitions a reality. In other words, they're stirring the pot. Today, we have with us someone who's been on that journey of explosive growth and disruption with JLL. Please help me by welcoming Managing Director Steve Ramseur. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Gary. How are you?
Welcome. I'm great. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Welcome
to the
be
Pot
here.
Stirrer.
I'm excited.
The last time you and I met, we were in San Antonio, Texas, having lunch together.
At Farm Table.
At Farm Table. So I know you've come all the way from San Antonio to our studio in Chicago to meet with us today. Thank you so much. I know you're really busy. So tell us a little bit about how you got to JLL, your background, and what you do.
Yeah, I've spent the last 30 years helping corporations buy, build, lease, manage space where their employees go to work every day.
So we're going to talk about that today, but thought we'd start to cook something that we ate together at the Farm Table in San Antonio. This is, I understand, one of your favorite recipes.
Kind of in a new area of San Antonio across from the Tobin Center, and her focus is really on connecting that whole experience back to the garden all the way to the table.
And if you go to the Farm Table, what you'll notice is it's a plant-based restaurant.
Right.
All of the food ingredients we have here today are plant-based. Tell us about that.
Well, I was a cattle rancher for 7 years. I was a grill master who's now a vegan. So kind of a big transformation.
Big change.
A lot of disruption in that. But my dad had his first heart attack at age 52. I'm 55. I wanted to avoid that event. And so I kind of think of a plant-based diet as really food as medicine.
So from cattle rancher to vegan, you and I are going to stir the pot today and make kachari together.
I'm ready.
So I'm just going to start with this small saucepan here and bring it up to a low temperature, and we're going to start with the spices. So if you can help me with a tablespoon of curry and a teaspoon of turmeric, right in there.
With no oil or anything?
No oil or anything. We're putting it right in the pan. What we're doing is called blooming the spices. So if you put them in this pan, they're going to get more fragrant. And then we want to just drop the turmeric in.
Wow, the smells are amazing.
Yeah, already it starts to smell, right?
It's beautiful.
Okay, so we're already spicing up this dish here.
Okay.
And we're going to let that sit for a minute. We want to make sure it doesn't burn, but we want it to get really fragrant. So next, we're going to go ahead and put the coconut milk in. We'll pour that right in, and as I'm doing that, if you grab that already grated
ginger root,
you hear that? We're going to start to combine all of this.
The aroma that comes off of it is just beautiful.
And you're going to see it's going to immediately change the color.
Okay.
See that beautiful color?
Beautiful.
So Steve, I'm going to keep stirring this great curry sauce, and I'm going to ask you to start the kachari. So we just want to make sure we're starting with a hot pan, and then we're going to add those. So let's test the heat of the oil.
Oh, there we go.
So you can actually replace these beans.
Okay, you want me to stir this?
Yes, please.
Okay.
With something like quinoa. There you go.
Well, I'm going to
Go ahead
turn
and
that down
saute
just a
those
little
in.
bit.
And as you're doing that, I'm going to make sure that our curry sauce is nice and incorporated, which it is. And once you give that a saute, you see they're just sticking just a little bit.
Okay.
So this curry sauce is going to help that. I'm going to add the curry sauce.
Keep stirring.
And keep stirring.
Keep stirring the pot.
Keep stirring the pot. I'll get this on a very low flame.
Okay.
And all of our
beautiful.
beans should have lifted up from the bottom now.
They have.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll stir that for you for a second. If you would grab the kale.
Sure.
And we're going to put that kale right in here.
Tell me when you're ready.
We're ready. Why don't you just start a couple of handfuls.
So we started with about 4 cups.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put it all in because it's going to wilt. And right now, all we want it to do is wilt. We don't want it to disappear. We just want it to get tender, incorporated, be able to get the sauce into all of those little nooks and crannies. So next to this dish, we're going to add the rice. So let's just go in there and grab some rice and add that to the dish. Okay, let's start with that. All right, look at all this come together.
It's beautiful, the colors.
It is beautiful. And what's going to happen is that the rice is also going to start to take on the color of the turmeric and the curry right in here. Why don't we start to set our plates? I'm going to let this sit for a minute. Now, the carrot mash is pre-done for us today. These are carrots that have been steamed, and what we're going to do is to them, we're going to add just a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice. This is going to brighten this carrot mixture up, and some chia seeds. So this is going to give us a color contrast, a tiny bit of crunch, and you know, chia seeds are just a great nutritious superfood. And we're going to take this and we're going to mix it up. This is a big schmear, and again, these carrots are just steamed. The microwave is great for 2 things: warming coffee and steaming vegetables. And so you can do this on top of the stove, or you can do it in your microwave.
Okay.
So we've got these great carrots with our lemon and our chia seeds in it. Now we've got our kachari. Lay this green and gold, beautiful mixture next to this vibrant, almost electric carrot color. Steve, let's do this. Let's add some toppings to it. Let's start with the chia seeds. Those are black and add a nice contrast right on top of that orange. Beautiful. What do you want to add next?
Well, let's put the coconut on.
Good. And the carrots are sort of mushy, so let's add some crunch. Great.
Get that, all of the senses engaged here.
Let's do some hemp on there.
Okay.
Do some hemp seeds.
Across.
And while you're doing that, I'm just going to do a sprinkle of pink
I like
salt
doing this together.
right on top. Good job. Looks good. One final point here. Maybe you can help me do this. These are the carrot spirals.
Okay, so
look how nice that is.
That's
good job.
Spectacular. Look at that dish.
I can't wait to share this dish with you and learn more about how you incorporate love in the workplace and how you combine those key ingredients of your culture that have given you so much success lately.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Good job.
All right.
So Steve, here we are. We've got this beautiful meal in front of us. The aroma and the colors, and even just looking at the different textures, I can't wait to dig in.
Let's dig in. Oh my gosh, the first impression. The turmeric's not overpowering. It comes through, but it's cooked perfectly. You did a great job.
You did a great job. Thank you. You ready to answer some questions?
I'm sure you came prepared.
I am always prepared. I have a deck of questions, a stack of questions for you. So let's start with your customers. What are some of the challenges you're solving for with them in this changing marketplace?
Well, the pace of change. And what we recognize is that change has never been this fast, and it will never again be this slow. And how you deal with the pace of change while you're retaining your top talent and you are protecting your margins.
So in that changing environment, what are your customers actually asking you for? What do they want to see that's different? How do you differentiate yourself in that changing world?
What they want is time. They want us to use technology and give them back time.
They want time. If you could give people back time,
yeah,
you're actually doing a lot more than just providing space, aren't you?
They can convert time into cost savings, a better employee experience, mitigating risk. But I think at the end of the day, right now, with this fourth industrial revolution, the digital age that we're in, it's really about time.
It's a lot more than what you think a company like you does,
yeah.
Right? So what can you tell us about how you're disrupting through culture? How is building culture helping you deliver to your customers today?
Yeah, like I said, culture has 3 elements from my perspective. First is around engagement, right? Are our people engaged with the mission and the vision of the company? Do they feel empowered? Yeah. Right? Do they have the tools? And are they free to make mistakes? Right? It seems like we're so often afraid to make mistakes, but we actually encourage people to take those measured risks on the client's behalf, but to make mistakes. And I think the result of that is, at the end of the day, fulfillment. They're happy at work. That means they go home, they're happy at home, and they're giving back to their communities.
You're saying a couple things that are really striking me as very interesting and somewhat unique in the workplace. One is your concern about fulfillment, which is just fantastic. I'm assuming a fulfilled employee is a more engaged employee.
Sure.
And delivers a better customer experience.
Absolutely.
But you're also talking about making mistakes. And,
Yeah.
And you didn't say the word, but it sounds like you're almost encouraging or celebrating those mistakes. That's unusual. There are many companies that are still sort of punishing, if you will, for those who are making mistakes. Tell us how you handle that.
Sure. Well, if I tie making mistakes back to cooking, right, what we were doing here earlier, stirring the pot.
Sure.
Great cooking comes out of someone who's willing to experiment. And if you're afraid to make mistakes, you're not willing to add that last and final ingredient that could result in an amazing dish and experience around the table, right? Then you're never going to achieve that excellence in cooking. And the way that we achieve excellence in our company is we allow for people to make those mistakes.
So you've got this culture that you're working on. It seems to be doing really well because you are doubling in revenues in 5 years, which is great. But what are the other results besides dollars that you're seeing today from your efforts in bringing love into the workplace and culture?
Our professionals choose to work here. And at the end of the day, they vote with their feet. They show up every day. Our inventory goes down the elevator and out to their homes every single day at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. The fact that they choose to come back is an indication of the strength of our culture. And then second, around our clients, the retention rate around our long-term clients, 10, 15-year client relationships.
So you're keeping people who work for you, I'm assuming longer, or at the very least more engaged, is that right? And that's resulting in keeping clients over a longer period of time.
Right, we look at it through three lenses: people, clients, and growth.
Yeah, I think anybody watching in business today understands that equation. If you're keeping the same clients, it costs a lot less to keep the client you have today than to have to go out and find new ones all the time. Although I'm assuming getting new clients is still important too.
It's important, but if you think about it, we're all about the relationship. At the end of the day, we are connecting with that customer on a personal level, and it's really about developing a strong relationship.
So I'm interested if we could maybe incorporate that idea of love into that relationship. Is that a part of it? You're talking about relationship. We touched on love. What's the connection there?
Absolutely. So it's just considering you ahead of myself, right? I want to put your interests ahead of mine, and I want to make the one who is the recipient of that love, I want to make you fulfilled.
So is that internally and externally, or just outwardly to your customers?
It's internal and it's external. I think when Hurricane Harvey smashed up against the Texas Gulf Coast, we had a number of employees affected, really impacted by the hurricane, about 100 of them. We're building engineers and maintenance type people. And the leader in that office sent out an email to a group, about 60 of us leaders around the country. And within a very short period of time, I'm talking under 2 or 3 hours, we raised a significant amount of money to help bridge them across that, because we love them, we care for them.
And you're showing it through action. So we talk about this. I know from our conversations that this is meaningful to you on a personal level, that you're just not at JLL for a job or to be a leader somewhere. You believe in this culture. And I also understand that there's an award given out every year based on the way you conduct yourself, not just at work, but also at home or in your life in the community. And so I got to brag on you because I know that you're a humble guy. You actually won this award this year. So tell us a little bit about that.
It's a Lifetime Achievement Award, and you are completely shocked. My family knew about it for months in advance because they did a filming, something like this.
They come to your house and interview
so you show up at the award ceremony, and I've always been, I'm more comfortable like I was in the kitchen, supporting, not the star. And all of a sudden you see your family and wow.
So it's a Lifetime Achievement Award, and what do they really look at? What do you win it based on?
They're looking at how you treat the people that you work with. Are you a culture keeper? Someone who really embodies what we value at JLL, how you live your life at home and your community, you give back. I mean, from my perspective, living is giving, and it's not what you take out of the world, but what you leave with it that counts. And result in a well-lived life.
So I'm not sure that this will translate on the cameras, but I can see how absolutely emotionally attached you are to this work. I can see it in your face and in your eyes.
I think that's fulfillment, engagement, and empowerment all coming together. It has to be a visceral. Leadership is about the heart. It's really about an affair of the heart. It's people want to know that you care about them.
And it's become a big part of your culture that you're leading.
And that goes back to our leadership. It starts with Roger Staubach and others who have been instrumental in shaping what our culture will be.
You know, my next question I think feeds right into this, which is tell me more about your philosophy around how you build a compelling culture. Before I let you answer that, I think with leaders who have that much passion and that much conviction, a lot of it has to be what people see you, and I'm sure your colleagues modeling for them.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you build a compelling culture.
Well, like I said, I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me. The only thing I've done well alone in my life is make mistakes, right? Anything I've ever accomplished is with a team. And that idea of teamwork and ethics and excellence and leadership, those are our core competencies that we look at. And so I love going to work in the morning. I can't wait for Monday.
So I can't help but think that this has got to be helping you win in the marketplace. I mean, is it a competitive advantage for you to have that type of belief system, philosophy, culture? Yeah,
people, we have obviously a global platform, 600 markets, 80,000 employees. We're a Fortune 500 company. But what it comes down to, and I've been selling now for 30 years, what it comes down to is trust. And do I really want to work with this person for 10, 15 years? And are they passionate about my success?
Do they care enough about me as an individual and a professional? So when you think about your employees, I see the passion coming from you. I know that it exists at the leadership level. How important is this culture to your actual employees, those people on the front line, those people that may live very far away from any of the leaders in the business?
Right, and that's a great point because a lot of our employees are sitting on buildings like this one, or on corporate campuses, and they're not in the pot, if you will, of our culture every day. And so we have to focus on ensuring that they're not only imbibing of our clients' culture, because we want them to be a part of our clients' culture, but they need to carry that JLL culture in with them as well. And I think that comes through leadership. And we view leadership as a core competency from all the way through the organization. It's not just at the top. We invert the pyramid, and when I come to work every day, I think, okay, I'm working for you.
So that really, it was all I could do to not interrupt you to say, and it sounds like you're making a leader out of everyone.
We are.
That's what it sounds like. It's fantastic. So your employees are located all around the world. And how are you making sure that you're getting the best results from everyone?
Yeah, well, we have a phenomenal team, leadership team. It starts with Christian Ulbricht, our global CEO, and our regional CEOs. But again, empowering each individual to make that right decision. Roger Staubach always said that if you do the right thing, good things will happen.
Yeah, get the right results. So you as a leader, what's it like leading a company through this kind of change, this kind of culture? You've got a lot going on globally. What's it like for you as a leader?
Well, for me, I like, as you saw when we were cooking, I'm more comfortable in a supporting role as opposed to the star.
I thought you were pretty good at the star part too.
Well, so I look at the leaders that I serve and those around me. And at the end of the day, I think that it's about making sure that they feel secure in their roles, that they have the tools they need to be successful. And at the end of the day, it has to be wrapped in purpose, right? Does JLL make the world a better place by creating work environments where people are safe and healthy and happy? I believe we do.
Sounds like love to me.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
One last question before we get to the lightning round.
Okay.
So, what does the future look like for you personally, for your customers, employees, JLL itself? What does the future look like for you guys?
The future is bright. Clear North Star. We strategically know where we're headed, but I think it also is going to be really, really difficult. Transformation involves a lot of pain sometimes to get to that desired outcome, that future state. And so I think that even though we have a clear vision of where we're going, it's going to require discipline and staying close to our core values.
You know, at Root we say that culture eats strategy for lunch. You said you've got this great North Star strategy. It also sounds like you've got this great culture. that's going to support you on this journey to the bright future. So, Steve, lightning round. These are the 3 questions I think everybody wants to know about you and your work.
You got it.
You ready?
Okay.
What other career or profession, other than the one you're in now, would you like to pursue most?
I would be teaching in Africa.
Next is, what piece of advice do you have for anyone out there who wants to build a great company culture? You know, one wrapped in love with great principles like yours.
Authentic leadership. At the end of the day, people want to see that you're human, that you're real.
Inspiring. So, last one. How important has culture been to your personal growth?
Yeah, I think it's core to who I am. When I came to work for JLL, I felt like I was coming home. And so this culture is really an extension of who I am at home, in my community, and it lets me live life really holistically.
Steve, I have to tell you, you inspired me today with the food and with the conversation. You are certainly someone that I would love to work for.
We would have you any day.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks.